Tomac 2018 style or whatever.
When's he going to retire? What's he got left on his contract?
I think he's got 2 years, right?
So next year?
I don't even. Dude, honestly, it's really hard for me to talk about this because it's fucking frustrating. Like I was actually pissed off last night, like legit mad.
I was just like, this is insane. You were just leading the race, and now you dropped anchor to 10th?
Like I said, it's really hard for me to talk about this without like going into one of my freak out modes because I've been a fan of Kenny for a long time. I remember the first time I ever watched him race was at Minios when he was on 85s, when he was still just coming over here from Germany.
Yeah.
So I've been a fan of this kid for a long time. One of the most naturally talented dudes I think we've ever watched ride a dirt bike, and I can honestly say that in my lifetime, there's only been probably 3 other guys that I've ever watched that make me go wow, and that's Jeremy McGrath, James Stewart, and Travis Pastrana.
Yeah.
And I would put Ken Roczen in what he can do on a dirt bike, and I would just say anybody that doesn't know, go watch 2016 Outdoors.
So what's the excuse for last night?
There is no excuse.
What's the excuse he's going to give?
Oh.
There's going to be an excuse. Because he didn't crash.
I broke my pinky toe. My shingles flared up. Dude, I don't know because, like I said, this is just really hard for me because I don't ever want to talk bad about Kenny, but that was unacceptable. Like, how do you go from winning the race to, do you get 9th or 10th?
I think 9th.
How do you go from winning the race to 9th? And how do you have that big of a points gap on Cooper Webb and then get beat by 30 points or 35 or whatever it was?
I don't know.
Like only 7 rounds. What was it? 7 rounds ago, he was up by like 3 points, and then he lost the championship by 35.
At one point, he was up by 16 points.
Like, how is that even? I don't get it. Like him and Eli should just be best buds because mentally they're both fucking.
Well, they're flying around private jets together and stuff. So
mentally, they are 2 of the most winningest. They're the 2 most winningest, mentally soft dudes I think I've ever seen.
What can we talk about? Tomac last night goes out.
About an hour and a half deep.
What a race. That was a good one.
Oh, boy.
What'd he say?
I don't know what he said.
What'd you say?
What a race. That was a good one.
Oh, yeah, dude. It was awesome. So I just asked Justin. I'll ask you the same question here. When does Ken Roczen retire?
I don't think he retires. I think that he's got a few years left in him, but he's got to get over the baby hump thing. So I previously said in some of the other episodes that, especially in hockey, there's a thing about athletes that are in dangerous sports such as hockey, motocross, shit like that, that when they have a marriage or especially kids, especially young kids or their first kids, kind of even more so then, that they kind of soften up and they lose that edge, right? So they still have the ability, they probably have more strength than usual, but they don't have that hungry tiger attack. And I think we saw it yesterday, so I really, it hurts me to say this, but Ken Roczen, number 94, pulled like a lawn chair, and I think that was a bit to do with that. He kind of, you see some of these guys that kind of just get complacent with going home safe, and there's nothing wrong with that because then you don't go and retire young like I did. But when you have a shot at being the champ, and you could punt your opponent into the third row to win the championship and win a couple $1 million, and you essentially say, hey, here you go, congratulations, you're the champ, I'm going to go take 12th place or 10th place or whatever, then, well, that's not exactly having the edge that we're used to seeing from Ken Roczen.
Well, I give him some credit, okay? At least he did something last night. We were doing some bunching. He was definitely bunching. However, our backup, Chase Sexton, didn't come through in the clutch and just clean out the number 2 like we needed him to. He was more focused on going to the front, which was a big issue because he could have just cleaned out 2 and then gone to the front. And then when he got fined after Kenny won the title, he could have just, sent the bill to Kenny to have him pay it, and we'd have been good.
Stu was in his headset telling him, if you don't hit these fucking whoops 4th gear wide open, I'm going to punch you.
Well, for what it's worth, I think that when Chase Sexton was going so fast in those whoops after I think it was finish line and making up a ton of time and then just blows past Cooper Webb. Cooper Webb also kind of seemed to say, okay, let's see what you got, kids. And then,
he's like, Dad.
Such a McGrath move and comes back into 9, and I'm taking the win too.
Yeah.
He's like, Daddy's got you covered. Daddy Webb has got you covered.
What if I told you the rumor mill is that Kenny's gonna buy himself out of his contract early and retire?
Oh, really? That was the rumor you were going to talk about?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to talk about the Zach
I'll
Osborne
bet
one
you
too.
$100.
You'll bet me $100 he doesn't?
Yep.
I'm in on 50.
Can I get
maybe
Can I get
he does that in
75?
his contract eventually, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon.
I
wouldn't be crazy surprised if he doesn't do outdoors, or if he comes up with some mysterious, I got a strange cough, I'm going to take the outdoors off. I wouldn't be surprised about that, but I don't think he's done.
My pinky toe hurts.
I was gonna say the rumor mill is he's not racing outdoors, and he's gonna buy himself out of his contract early.
It's a credible source too.
So
The only reason that I could see him doing that is if he, by doing these kind of, I don't want to call it quitting, but after rolling over and playing dead.
Oh, we're calling it quitting, Tom.
It's quitting.
It's quitting, Tom.
He's going that way is if he had, in his mind, decided that he didn't have what, because I know, I mean, there's a lot of us that have been kind of at the higher end of athletics. At least you have this thing where if you feel like you can't go out there and crush everybody and dominate, then you're not going to even bother. And that's kind of amplified by having a newborn and a bride at home, right? So you're kind of like, if I'm not going to go out there and kill it, maybe I just go surfing instead. Well, I don't think that's the case, but that's the only way I could really see it being that with 94.
I think he goes next year, and then I think he's done.
Problem is that Daddy Webb still is still the big dog now, and he's never going to win that title if Daddy Webb keeps doing what Daddy Webb keeps doing.
What
I'm saying there's no fucking way he's retiring.
I got $50. Says he retires after next year.
75.
No, I'm 50. Call Dan Truman. He'll get you for 100. Dan Truman will bet anybody anything.
For what it's worth, Dan is a very credible source. So I didn't listen to the other podcasts or wherever else Dan might have said that, but what Dan says.
Oh no, Dan!
Oh, no. This isn't from Dan.
This isn't from Dan. I'm just saying Dan will bet. Dan had like $10,000 worth of bets going on fantasy results.
And won like what, 1,000?
I don't know.
Was one of them on Nick Gaines?
Maybe, who knows? So what do you think of that?
Dan Truman is. So when I was with KTM, Dan Truman is.